just kind of take it from there. I'll let you give us the lowdown on how this happened.
I started my path, my journey in hypnotherapy as a client.
Okay.
My coach and hypnotherapist who eventually became my professional mentor, Dr. Amy Rosner, so I have to give her...
Dr. Amy Rosner.
Dr. Amy Rosner, so I have to give her credit, her shout out, because she's amazing. And I first went into hypnotherapy because I've been struggling with insomnia, like severe, we're talking Fight Club level insomnia. Like I was staying up all night making soap practically. And I mean, actually literally for a while before I ever saw the movie. But it was
probably on volume.
Like 20 years. It was,
good. Sorry.
It's okay. I was going on 20 years. It was severe insomnia. And I tried over-the-counter medications. I tried all the things you're supposed to try. And just wasn't sleeping. So it got to the point where a friend of mine said, "Have you ever tried hypnotherapy?" And it's something I've always been interested in. I used to describe myself as a psychology nerd, it's my fascination with the human mind. So she gave me the recommendation for Dr. Rosner, and it took a few months to get around to it, but a chain of events led to me showing up in her chair as a client. And from the first session, because hypnotherapy is one of those things, like once you experience it, you're in. It's such a unique experience, and we can describe it with words and such, but most people don't really have a common experience enough to really be able to grasp what it is.
Yeah.
So, first session, I was like, I'm hooked, I'm in. And I think
I've always been big on it in the fighter aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, not just fighter, but I should say athlete aspect. So, so what was it for you that grabbed you when you did it in that session, that first session?
It's one of those things, again, it's intangible with words, and it just changes who you are in a good way. It just affects your mind in ways that are almost indescribable. And I first, for going back years and years in martial arts, I was into the visualization and so I started training athletes, coaching athletes of various types using guided imagery and visualization. So I knew the power of it.
Yeah.
And like you said, the fighter aspect, because Rogan recently did it within a fairly recent history on his cast, a whole segment about how so many top MMA guys are using hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy-based episode. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, you said visual what?
Visualization, guided visualization.
Guided visualization. So I'm big into lifting, and
as I saw, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's weird is I remember about 4 years ago, like I just tossing and turning all night, and I told my friend that Saturday, that Monday, you know, International Chest Day, you know, we're gonna hit chest, and I'm gonna fucking bench 405 today. And all night, all I did was visualize. And I had never even attempted anything above 315 at this point. Mm-hmm. But I just told myself I was going to do it. And that day, you know, lack of sleep and everything, the visualization of, you know, tossing and turning all night because I knew I wanted 405, I was going to do it. Not only did I do it, but I did it twice.
Nice.
So it was like one of those things where, okay, I think that there's something to it. Mm-hmm. Now I believe that there's something to it. So
yeah, you absolutely experienced self-hypnotherapy in that moment, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, you just kept telling yourself that message, and even though you weren't sleeping, with your eyes closed in that more relaxed state, you talk about hypnotherapy and hypnosis like it's this mystical state, right?
Right.
And shamanism and all this. It's not. It's actually entirely based on psychology and neuroscience and the way the brain works. And hypnosis is a state we all go into several times a day without realizing it. Primarily when we're falling asleep, which that's what you were going into.
Right.
When we're waking up out of sleep, which you were also in kind of all night since you didn't really sleep really well. Times like when we're driving. There's a term called hypno-hyper. Like when you ever find yourself that you leave to go somewhere and someplace you go on a regular basis and you're cruising up like Ironwood or up the 60 and all of a sudden you're just there.
For me it's music. Like when I'm driving, music puts me in that trance and I'm like, oh wait, I don't remember that stretch of road.
And you find yourself, even without the music sometimes, if you're driving along and your thoughts were going here and there, kind of working things out, but it was this very free-flowing thought state.
Yeah.
And that's basically a state of hypnosis. And that's one of the things that, you know, to pin for maybe later on in the conversation, I really like to work with people is taking advantage of those times, to really maximize that time. And because especially that falling asleep, waking up, times when we're driving, if I'm just going down the Circle K, I don't really have time to get into it, or if it's heavy traffic, I don't want to be zoning out. But our brain goes into, it's basically the brainwave states. And we get closer and closer to that delta, which is deep sleep. And in hypno, we sometimes get there. We kind of work with any one of the the 4 brainwave states, depending on what we're doing. But you had a perfect example of it.
Yeah.
One of the stories I heard early on when I was a teen, and I was first into, coaching. I was teaching martial arts for Peter, and at the gym I was.
Peter Hill?
Peter,
okay.
yeah, for years. That's how I know them. And I was down there all the time, so with the martial arts aspect and the visualization, the meditation, all that, which are all basically the same thing in their own way. They're different aspects of this brainwave state. And I was listening to this talk by this guy, I can't remember his name, this was 20, 25 years ago. He was a former Olympic lifter. So he lifted at that level, international competition.
Ridiculous.
And, yeah, absolutely. He was a monster. And he had, so it was after his career was over, he still kept lifting, he was still huge, in great shape. Not quite his competition peak, of course, but he was in that era, I think he lived like in the 80s when we were really against the Soviets, right? They were the main competition for the 70s and 80s. So it was after his career, he was coaching, he was doing motivational speaking and leadership conferences and stuff. He was at a conference and actually came into contact with several of the former Soviet coaches. And they'd been on opposite sides of the competition,
forever.
Yeah, forever, exactly. And all, very Iron Curtain, nobody shared secrets. Well, this was years after that. And anyway, went talking to these guys. So they're just kind of picking each other's brains. Think what do the Americans do, what the Soviets do. And one of the things the Soviets had a much more advanced program in was visualization. So they took this guy, and within a few minutes, there's a weight room in the gym, and they were saying, we can guarantee you we can boost, because being a competition lifter, even though he wasn't competing, he knew what he could lift, right? You have that mindset. Within a few pounds, he knew where he was at. And so we can guarantee you like a 10 to 15% gain in your bench press within 5 or 10 minutes. Took him down, set it on the bar. He saw the bar, he's kind of like, this is more than I'm currently doing. It's a lot more. It was actually, I think, 25% more. And they took him through a guided visualization process, about 10 minutes, and just basically said, do it. He grabbed the bar, popped it like 3 times.
It's crazy.
It really is. What your mind is capable of is.
Well, they say, what, 10%? We only use 10% of our brain?
They say that, and that's not entirely true. Because our subconscious is working all the time, but we only use a limited % of our conscious mind. It's always busy, but yeah, we don't really use it effectively as the day. And we kind of let our subconscious kind of go spin on these anxieties and these worries a lot of times and these things. But there's a lot of processing power there that's available that we're not using very effectively.
Yeah,